Hello and welcome to the Cyrus podcast. I am your host, Cyrus. And today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about my opinion about voice assistants, my opinion about foldable phones, and I'm not talking foldable phones. I'm talking about like the Samsung Galaxy, Z Flip, Z Fold, Motorola Razr, Motorola Plus, those phones. And we will be talking about those topics. So let's just jump into it. So I personally think that foldable phones, we're going to start off with foldable phones. I personally think that foldable phones are the future. Now you might be saying, well, Cyrus, why don't you have a foldable phone? Well, when I was doing my old show a long time ago, I had a foldable phone. I had the Razr. Now right now I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but you might be saying, well, where's your foldable phone? Where is your foldable phone? Well, I used to have one, and they had problems. You'd be saying, but Cyrus, you just said that foldable phones are the future. Yes, I did. Because I think they're going to get better to the point where Apple's going to make a foldable phone, and you know what? It's going to be good. Now, I'm not 100% Apple. I used to be an Android user, and there used to be a lot of cool foldable phones. I mean, Android is making some really cool phones, really cool foldable phones. Like you got the Google, there's a lot of competition now. You got the Google Pixel Fold, which is really cool. You got the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5, Z Flip 5 that is out now, and you can pick those up for, well, it depends on the deals that you get with your carrier, but let me just see the foldable phones that we got going on. All right, here we go. We got the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5, which is out now. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 or Z Fold 5. We got the Google Pixel or the Motorola Razr Plus, which is out now, which is cool. We got the Google Pixel Fold, which is probably my favorite, which is the Google Pixel Fold is my favorite. I personally don't own one, but I do think foldable phones are the future. I think that we will all have foldable phones. Even Apple is going to move on to the foldable phone market. Because I just believe that in my heart that they're the future because they're cool. I mean, they're cool and they're practical. You might be saying, well, Cyrus, how are they practical? They're practical because, like, you know, they fit in your pocket easier. And you can put a big phone, like a big display, instead of just a little slab phone. Like, this is a slab. This slab. I'm not a big fan of the slabs. Why did I go with the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Because I wanted to get back into the Apple ecosystem. And I'm praying and hoping that Apple will make a foldable phone. Or I might just switch back to Android when it's time for me to upgrade my phone. So yeah, I personally believe that foldable phones are the future. I mean, I've been saying this even on my old show a long time ago, that foldable phones are going to be the future. This is where it's going to be at. Me and Mr. Mobile, Michael Fisher, a technology enthusiast who reviews phones. I don't know him personally, but I know I watch his YouTube videos. We think that foldable phones are the future, and foldables are from the day one. I think that foldables are the future because I used a Motorola Razr 5G, and it was great. I mean, it was cool. The problem is I do not think that foldable phones are there yet. I think that they're the future, and I'm all for foldable phones, but I do not think that foldable phones are ready yet because, let me tell you, a slab phone like the iPhone 14 Pro Max, let's switch camera angles, a slab phone with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, it's, you know, you got the glass and the display, which works fine. Sometimes you have problems, but I'm noticing with the Razr and like the Razr, when the first Razr came out on Verizon, basically what happened is they went out of their way and they made their screen. They made them good, but people were breaking the display models. And my Motorola Razr 5G broke. The screen broke because I thought it was a screen protector and I pulled it off. I mean, that was something that people were thinking. They did that with the first Samsung Galaxy Z Fold. They thought it was a screen protector and they peeled it off. I should have watched that video, but I didn't. So part of it was my problem. And then I had the Motorola Razr where it wouldn't respond to touch. The 5G Motorola Razr would not respond to touch. And then the screen would just go green and stuff like that. So these screens, these foldable screens, are not there yet. They are not there yet, but I feel like they are the future. Excuse me. Once we get to the point where foldable phones are out there, they get cheaper, because right now some of them are getting cheaper, like the Motorola Razr, people. The Motorola Razr Plus is only $1,000, when the Motorola Razr, or not the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 is like what, 1,800. Or that's the Google Pixel. I'm sorry, but it's around that price range, which is insane. I mean, personally, in my opinion, it's good. The 14 Pro Max is around that price range too. But when I get the 14 Pro Max, I know that I'm getting a quality phone because the screen technology that they are working on, that they have, has been around for years, and I know that this screen is not going to mess up on this phone. The foldable technology, it hasn't really been around that much for years, and they're just trying it, and the phones break, people. The phones break. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what Marquez Brownlee has to say or Mr. Mobile has to say, or any of these other, like Linus has to say. Guys, from personal experience, using the phone for about a year, they break down. They break down over time. And unlike the iPhone, where of course it's going to slow down over time, but the screen is still functional in my opinion. So yeah, that is my opinion on foldable phones. Now, voice assistants. Voice assistants are cool. I had a Google Home. It was a Google Home Desktop Max, and I actually sold it because one, they're cool. Like, hey, do that. Hey, do that. I'm not going to say the word because it's going to activate somebody's Google Home or their Android. But basically, hey, do that. You know, it was cool, and it really was, but I didn't find it practical. I wasn't using it enough for it to be practical. That's why I sold my Nest Hub Max, because I was not using it enough. And it was cool when I first got it. Like, oh, that was cool, saying voice commands to do that and to do this with different smart plugs and stuff like that. It was really cool. But in my opinion, it's not necessarily there yet. Now, you're going to be saying, didn't you just say this about the Razr and the foldable phones? Yeah, voice assistants are getting high tech. But once again, I do not think that they are there yet. And the reason why I say that is because, one, they're cool, they're learning, and I think with ChatGPT, maybe they could implement that into the voice assistants to try and get more. You guys remember Siri? Like, I don't even use Siri. Well, that's not true. I use Siri to make a phone call. If I say, like, I'm not going to say the name, but basically, if I say the command word, basically I use it to, like, make phone calls. I use it on my Apple Watch, but that's about it. I didn't get a HomePod. Some people get HomePods. I didn't get a HomePod. I chose a Google Hub Max. The Google Nest Hub Max. And I didn't really use it. I know the convenience of telling it to turn on a light is cool, and the convenience to tell it to turn on the TV is cool, but it makes you lazy, in my opinion. In my opinion, like, okay, why can't I just get out? Of course, it's cool to say, hey, do that, but it makes you lazy, in my opinion. So I'm not personally ready for voice assistants. I'm not ready for voice assistants to take over. They're cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not ready for them to take over yet in my life. You know, I can't really bite the gun, and I can't really bite the bullet and say that I'm into it, because I'm just not right now. And, you know, Google, the best assistant in my opinion is Google Assistant. Now, it has not really, it's been getting worse. Apparently it's been getting worse as far as I know after seeing some tech videos. I haven't necessarily tested it out myself, but it has been getting worse. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. And yeah, I guess I don't like voice assistants. At least not right now. I don't like voice assistants. So yeah, thank you for watching this little short episode. I will make longer episodes soon. You know, I don't know. The short content is nice, it's sweet, and it's packed up little. So I don't know if I'll be making longer videos or not, but, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the near future. Thank you for watching the Cyrus Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Seriously, though, I don't know why I do that, but yeah.